just want to move on quickly to just address the fact that hockey season in Pittsburgh is over. It's nighttime in Pittsburgh behind me, but there will be no more Penguin games. The Bruins, again, could not find a way to win in Carolina. They win 3 home games in Boston, but I think everyone that was watching the games knew that it was apparent they could not figure out how to get a better line change and score a goal, more than one goal in a game in Carolina. They're done. But I don't know about you. I had to announce 2 days before when it became apparent that there were going to be 3 game 7s on Saturday in the NHL, 2 game 7 on Sunday in the NHL, including Penguins Rangers. And Bruins played Saturday. So that was the opener on Saturday. I said, I'm watching hockey, not doing anything. Cut me out of the plans. I don't want to hear any bullshit. I'll bring food in and watch hockey. And that's what I did. How good is the NHL postseason? Seriously.
So there, I think we've said it a lot. There is nothing like playoff hockey. There just isn't. And there's nothing better than overtime playoff hockey.
Oh.
And you cannot beat overtime game 7 hockey unless your team wins. That's the only way it can get better. And just last night, 2 overtime games.
Oh.
That's the way it should be. That's the way it should be, right?
But you can't call a penalty in overtime. You're old enough to remember that you needed to commit a felony and get a 3 to 5 sentence, like a prison sentence, to get a penalty called in overtime in the NHL. The Penguins survive it and give up a power play goal with 6 minutes left, and it's tied. I'm just going, we'll get to the end, get to the end, get to the end. They get to overtime. All right. And I tweeted it. No more talk, no more bullshit, no more penalties. Let's play. 3 minutes in, a guy tugs on a stick and he drops his, calls a hooking penalty. 3 minutes in, I knew the game was over. Panarin gets a shot. I've watched it 100 times. I don't know how the puck got in. I don't know how it went in, but it went in. Season over. Can't call penalty in that spot, right?
No, you know, I've got to say that in years past, I've had a lot of issues with the NHL officiating. I didn't have a problem with any call in any of the 7 Bruins games. I thought Pasternak took an elbow to the head in game 7 that I think was a penalty. But, you know, you, like you said, you had to commit a felony to get a penalty called in overtime in the past. I don't think that was the case. I don't think they let them play quite as much as they have in the past at all. I thought they called it fair. I didn't pay attention as much to, you know, the Rangers and Penguins, but I thought that they called very good games in the Bruins series. But when you get to overtime, in a game 7, somebody's got to have a limb laying on the ground, on the ice, for there to be a penalty called. You don't call ticky-tack stuff in game 7 overtime.
Or somebody flips a puck over the glass. And you have to call a delay game, or there's a delay, too many men switch. Something has to happen that is a clear violation. You can't let it go, but you let everything else go. And I got to let it go because the Penguins are done.
Well, and you know that I'll bitch for you, Dave, because really the season was lost on a bullshit cheap hit, a fucking chicken wing that goes up to Sidney Crosby's face. So it's almost, you know, I always get the tinfoil hat out and whatever. This isn't one of those, you know, times, but it is kind of ironic is the words that, you know, it ends on a penalty call in overtime that you hardly ever see in the NHL playoffs. And really, you could argue that because of a very cheap shot penalty, that's the only reason that you were in that position to start with. So I thought the Pens really, and I don't have any skin in the game. You know, I look like I'm all penguined up with my gear I got on today, though. I will say I look very penguined up, but I you know, as a Flyers fan, I'll never go out of my way to, you know, praise the Penguins or not. I think they got a pretty fucking raw deal in that series. I thought it was a, you know, unfortunate way for it to end, but, you know, congratulations. Now I'm rooting on the Canes is right. You know, the next team that I'll be rooting for.
It's funny because, I mean, the total in the games, in the Penguin games, 6.5, 6. It started at 6 and it was 7 for 7. Every game went over in the Penguins Rangers series. So every game pretty much went over all playoffs except for the Dallas and Calgary series. And the Dallas goalie's last name is Ottinger. I forget exactly how to say it.
Ottinger. Yep.
Ottinger.
Buga.
67 saves last night in Game 7 in a losing effort. He kept them in so many games, but those games went under. Like of those 7, 5 went under. It was the only series that was like that, and that was half of the games that went under in the first round overall. So I don't think that's going to be that way going forward. Keep an eye out for betting these things. I think you're going to have some great hockey games. Puck lines laying the goal and a half, which was a death sentence betting wise in years past, was an absolute gold mine this year. Games were finishing by 2, by 3, sometimes by 4 because they pull the goalie now and they leave the goalie out. If there's an empty net, 4 minutes to go, leave him out. The math guys say, go for it. Just leave him out. So the math guys have figured out that as long as they're not coaching, they can say whatever the hell they want. And the coach has got to listen because they're writing a check upstairs. I don't get it. Used to put the goalie back in and just concede. We lose by 2, but nah, that's fine. We'll talk about the officials here in a second. So real quick, I'll just run through mine. You get the Battle of Alberta, Calgary, Edmonton. Calgary minus 190. I think it's going to be a very close, very entertaining series for you guys back east. Stay up, but I'm leaning Calgary wins it. The other West series, Colorado beats St. Louis in 5 or less. It's another sweep or 5. In the Eastern Conference, Carolina's going to beat the Rangers, boys. I don't think the Rangers are going to win. I don't know how they're going to win a game. If they do win 1, they're not winning 2 in Carolina, and I think Carolina wins 1 in New York. So 6 games likely there, and then that Florida battle is going to be absolute must-see television. Set your timers, set your DVRs, watch those games. It's going to be absolute war. CH has been working the hashtag anybody but the Lightning. I mean, he's done it before. People listening to the show, go back and follow the show at Cash Consid Show on the Twitter. Email the show, cashconsidshow@gmail.com. The hashtag powers work. So beware, Lightning fans and people with Lightning Stanley Cup tickets. This might be the year that they actually don't win it back-to-back champions before going for the 3-peat. He's on them. Keep an eye on it. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, click on another video right here on the screen. And if you really liked it, consider subscribing below. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again soon.